Fire in extreme weather, proven survival methods that keep flames alive when everything is soaked or frozen. Welcome back to Extreme Outdoor Survival. If you're new here, subscribe before we begin. This channel is for people who respect real survival history, real field skills, and lessons that were learned the hard way by people who didn't have rescue helicopters waiting for them. Today we're talking about a decisive skill, keeping fire alive in brutal weather. Across every frontier story, military campaign, mountain crossing, or polar expedition, the same rule repeats itself. Those who could make and keep fire lived. Those who couldn't paid for it. Fire is not optional when the environment turns hostile. It's heat, sterilization, morale, signaling, drying, and the difference between functioning hands and useless numb fingers. The problem is that extreme weather strips away everything that makes fire easy. Rain soaks tinder, snow buries wood, wind steals heat and oxygen. The temperature drains battery life from lighters and freezes fingers long before the first spark shows up. That is why the people who historically survived did not depend on luck. They learned techniques that work when conditions are at their worst. The first principle is simple. You never rely on one method of ignition. Arctic explorers carried matches and steel. World War soldiers carried lighters and tinder. Mountain shepherds carried charcloth, not convenience store lighters only. Practical reality for you today is to carry at least 3 options: a lighter, a ferro rod, and storm-proof matches. Test them in rain, not in your living room. A lighter warmed in your pocket will work long after one left in your pack fails from the cold. That trick alone has saved countless people in alpine climates. They split wood to reach the dry heart. They harvested pine resin, birch bark, or fat wood because those substances burn even when damp. You can apply this today by developing a habit. When you pick up a wet log, don't fight the wet exterior. Take your knife, split it open, and work from the dry interior, shavings, outward. In rain or snow, the outside is sacrificed, so the inside burns. The third key is building fire from small to large with discipline. People fail because they try to jump straight to thick logs. Historically, trappers, soldiers, and mountaineers built pencil lead size kindling first, then pencil size, then finger size, then wrist size, and only then logged fuel wood. In extreme weather, size progression is not optional. A good field exercise is to collect everything before lighting anything. If you only gather enough for the first 3 minutes of flame, you will spend the next 10 minutes scrambling as the fire collapses. Another reality learned repeatedly through history is wind discipline. Wind is both enemy and ally. It feeds oxygen, but destroys weak flame. Many who froze had fuel and spark, but no wind shelter. Build a windbreak. Use your pack, rocks, a fallen log, or a shallow trench in snow. Napoleonic soldiers on winter campaigns dug small pits to protect flame, and the technique still works today. Your practical step is this. Before you strike a spark, control the wind. Fire building after lighting your tinder is already too late. One of the most misunderstood truths is that fire and water belong together in winter. Snow is not fuel, it is fire's opponent. But melting snow requires energy, and if you drop snow onto a weak flame, you kill it instantly. Historical winter travelers always melted snow in a container near the fire, not inside it, so the flame survived. If you need water, feed the fire first, water second. Fire keeps you alive long enough to drink, not the other way around. You carry cotton pads dipped in wax, resin-rich shavings, or birch bark stored dry. A practical habit is to build a small tin labeled "Fire Starts" and never touch it except in field conditions. Train yourself to replenish it after every use. If you depend only on what the forest gives you on a bad day, You're gambling where others use discipline. There is also a psychological element proven by history. People who survive refuse to panic when the first attempt fails. Shackleton's crew, Alpine troops, and even stranded civilians during winter wars often failed multiple times before achieving flame. The difference was persistence paired with method. Your takeaway is this: if a fire fails, stop, reset, rebuild the base, increase your fine tinder, and try again. Frustration does not start fires, systems do. Let's make this hands-on. Go out in wet weather, deliberately choose damp wood, split it, shave inner curls, build a small progressive stack, create a windbreak, use only your ferro rod, keep working until fire stands on its own. That single exercise will teach you more than any book. Once you master it, do the same in snow, then in cold wind. Skill built under comfort is untested skill. Fire in extreme weather isn't a romantic symbol. It is the line between continued human function and irreversible decline. The people before us understood that fire was not guaranteed just because a spark existed. It was the result of preparation, redundancy, and respect for environment. If you treat it casually, the environment corrects you, sometimes permanently. If you value serious historical survival lessons translated into real, usable skill, subscribe to Extreme Outdoor Survival, share this video with someone who trains, not just watches, and keep learning the fundamentals that past generations already proved under conditions far harsher than most people will ever face.